The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio. My name is Andy MacNeil. I'm your host, along with producer Jake here, who we will help get some help recapping the Bruins and Habs game here shortly. That was great game on Saturday. I know Jake wants to talk about that one. This show is sponsored by NorthStar Bets. We're here weekdays to provide NHL projections, picks, betting advice, and strategies to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. Of course, we're also backed by CanadaSportsBetting.ca, so check them out as well. But we're going to provide picks and projections for Monday's little 6-game slate and a bigger slate on Tuesday. So we'll look ahead to Tuesday's games here in a little bit. But yeah, how about them Boston Bruins, Jake?
Yeah, it was rough. It seemed like an okay normal game in the first period, and then it kind of just slipped away from them. But the Canadians' defensive lapses are right now are pretty brutal. It was the same thing with Ottawa a couple of nights before. The game just kind of got away from them to the point where they weren't really skating, they weren't really trying, and it's rough, especially in Boston's barn to have that happen. It's rough to fight those feelings.
Yeah, Bruins fans went home happy that night. I mean, the rivalry hasn't been very compelling in recent years. I mean, we're going. I guess we could say like for the better part of this last decade now. I mean, it hasn't been very compelling, and Montreal only has one win against the Bruins in the last 4 or 5 years.
I think the Bruins. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Bruins are 12-0-1 in the last 13 games against the Habs.
Yeah. So, I mean, while the rivalry isn't where I'd like it to be, because I grew up, I won't say in the heyday of the Bruins Habs rivalry, because I mean, wasn't alive for that, of course, but you know, the early 2000s into the 2010s, some pretty fun years there. Now it's just, enjoyable because of Boston's dominance over the Montreal Canadiens. Just wanted to highlight that because I know Jake really enjoyed that one. So anyway, Monday, we've got Winnipeg and the Boston Bruins in action. Mark Scheifele not going to play for the Winnipeg Jets. He has missed the last 3 games, I believe. And I'm looking at the over here. So it is 5.5 over. I believe we can get minus 105 here, which is pretty widely available. Yeah, you should be able to get minus 105. At several sports books here, even money available at some sports books. But I'm going to lock in over 5.5 minus 105. Now it's only going to be a half unit play. Worried about the Jets offense a little bit. No Kyle Connor, obviously, and now no Mark Scheifele. But look, Boston, they've been performing like one of the top offensive teams now. I think their offensive numbers are a little skewed because they put up 9 goals on the Canadians in their last game, but is still performing like a top 10 team on offense. And 9 of their last 12 games have featured 7 goals or more. So, I mean, Linus Ullmark, of course, back for the Boston Bruins. He had a bit of a rough game in his first game back. Luckily, like I said, the Bruins provided him with a lot of offensive support. But, taking the minus 105 on over 5.5. The betting market and sports books, I don't know who you want to blame here, but they've done a terrible job assessing these games where the total is 5.5. There have been 41 games so far this season with a total of 5.5, and 61% of those games have gone over the 5.5 total. So, yeah, locking over 5.5 in to win half unit on this Monday, January 22nd. Hopefully, Boston can make Winnipeg, force Winnipeg to increase their offensive output a little bit. Not sure who's going to start. Assume it will be Connor Hellebuck, but you never know. It is the Eastern Conference game, and sometimes coaches make some weird decisions there. So that is right now my only bet at this time for Monday. I think everything's. I mean, look, the Kings, they should be a big favorite against the San Jose Sharks, even though. Actually, I shouldn't say even though. David Riddick will start for the Kings. He's been great so far. 7 games, a 936 save percentage. 9.35 goals saved above expected, according to Evolving Hockey. 7 games, very small sample size. The bigger sample says that this is, this is probably not going to last for David Riddick, but he's playing well right now. He's in the zone, and the Kings, they should be a big favorite. So not much to talk about there. Same thing goes for the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, the easy prediction would be that the Canucks are going to destroy the Vancouver or the Chicago Blackhawks and score an infinite amount of goals, but a lot of the prices, they obviously reflect that. So we see the Canucks out there as a minus 435 favorite at NorthStar Bets. The Kings a minus 370 money line favorite. So two big favorites on Monday. Then we got the Pittsburgh Penguins in Arizona. Not sure if Nick Schmaltz is going to be back in the Coyotes lineup, but this one, I think the Penguins should be a favorite. But I think the price is basically right here, if not a little bit inflated on the Pittsburgh side. So nothing for me there, as the Penguins are a minus 156 favorite at NorthStar Bets. The Florida Panthers, they're minus 139 at NorthStar Bets, down as low as minus 125 at some shops. The Preds coming back on the other side at plus 114. Well, I mean, I would have interest in Florida here, although Nashville has been playing pretty good recently. They've got some strong metrics over the last month, or at least since since the holiday, since the NHL resumed after the holiday break. But Alexander Barkov still out for the Florida Panthers, so that's going to change things a little bit. And I think this one is right. In fact, I'm probably closer to betting on Nashville here, although I don't think that'll end up happening. The Vegas Golden Knights and the New Jersey Devils. Of course, both teams very injured right now. Jack Eichel out, Shea Theodore out, William Karlsson out. We've got the Devils with Jack Hughes not expected to be back until probably after the All-Star break here. Dougie Hamilton still out. Both of these teams are hurting. I think looking at recent trends here, Vegas has been able to surprise with the win against the Penguins after being down by 2 goals in the third period. Really burned me. That cost me on Saturday night. Things were going pretty great on Saturday. Would have been a 4-1 day, but the Penguins had to go and blow that 2-goal lead. And things did not end up going my way, but I still came out a winner on Saturday, regardless. But that one really pissed me off. And of course the Rangers losing 5-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights a couple of nights before that. Sorry. And so Vegas is 2-0 without Jack Eichel, but I think the Devils should be a small favorite here, minus 114 according to the model. So that's pretty much right on market, as NorthStar Bets has this game minus 125 on the side of the Devils and plus 102 on the side of the Vegas Golden Knights. So yeah, really not a lot of interest. I think these games are priced appropriately. And therefore I'm just making the one bet. I've got the Winnipeg and Boston game projected closer to 6 goals than it is 5.5, and you're able to get an even money or a minus 105 bet. So a coin flip that I think will hit more often than not. So yeah, that's going to be my only bet for Monday. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Tuesday's NHL games, because the Red Wings playoff chances up to 40% after defeating the Lightning on Sunday. Patrick Kane, though, not expected to be back, or I guess the Red Wings hope he'll be back before the All-Star break, but no word there. I believe he just saw a doctor a few days ago. So, yeah, still no word on the timeline there, but he won't be in the lineup when the Dallas Stars come to play the Red Wings on Tuesday. And I've got a little bit of interest in Dallas. They're another team that I'm still kind of pissed off at for losing against the Islanders in Patrick Waugh's debut behind the bench. I had the Dallas Stars at minus 110, and unfortunately, Jake Ottinger was not good enough to play. Sat out last night with an illness. Scott Wedgwood started back-to-back nights because the Stars had played on Saturday nights. So kind of unforeseen circumstances there. Expected Ottinger to be in goal. I think the Dallas Stars might have got the win if it wasn't for allowing an early goal and falling behind. They played a pretty good first period, I thought. So we'll see. But yeah, the new coach bump, I guess burned me this time around. But I'm considering here adding a bet on Dallas at minus 122 because those are the current odds at NorthStar Bets. It's just going to be a half unit play on the Dallas Stars or to win a half unit. Yeah, let's do that. The projection model has Dallas as a minus 129 favorite. So, bit of value there. I will lock in the Dallas Stars at minus 122 to win a half unit. So, let me just do that really quick. That is the best price in market now at NorthStar Bets. So yeah, locking that in. I mean, Dallas, they have, you know, been a little bit inconsistent. They were a little bit inconsistent there, but I think, you look at their play since coming out of the holidays, and they look like an elite team again, and they've got um, the goal share to kind of go along with that. So Dallas, they rank 10th in expected goals percentage at 53.09%, according to Evolving Hockey. This is all situations since December 27th. They are the 10th best team in goal share, too, scoring 57.5% of the goals. So things going pretty well for the Stars. They're scoring 3.9 goals per 60 right now. The Red Wings, I mean, their expected goals percentage down around 45.7%, but they're getting a little bit lucky lately. They've been scoring around 52% of the goals. So I think there, could be a little bit of a correction here. But I like the Stars at the price regardless. I think this is a good spot to buy low on Dallas, um, who definitely has a wide range of outcomes. You see them beat Chicago 8-1 one night and then kind of struggled to get past them, beating them 3-1 the next time out, things like that. But overall, a very good team and a team I like. I hope Jake Ottinger is in goal. I've got him projected to start. It was just an illness that kept him out. He was around the team on Sunday, so I do expect him to be back in the crease here for the Dallas Stars. So minus 122 to win half unit. The next bet I want to talk about is the Philadelphia Flyers. Of course, you guys all know that I've been riding the Flyers a lot this season. They're coming off back-to-back losses after a back-to-back set, losing to Colorado. I thought they played pretty well considering the opponent. Just nothing really went right for them in the first period, and they put forth a pretty good effort trying to make a comeback, but couldn't get back into it. The game against Ottawa on Sunday, though, wow, that was an ugly one. I thought the Flyers really kind of let that one slip, and uh, and so they're going to try to get back in the win column. They're up against a team who is trying to bounce back after losing to the Detroit Red Wings on Sunday. The Tampa Bay Lightning lost 2-1 to the Red Wings, a team that they are neck and neck with, in the race to get into the NHL playoffs. And that's not going to sit well with the Lightning. So we should see a solid effort for them. I just don't think the Flyers should be an underdog here. NorthStar Bets currently has the Flyers listed at plus 104. My model makes them minus 103. I think if you look at statistics and you just kind of take the team names away and just look at these two teams statistically, yeah, the Lightning are better, but there's really not a lot separating these two teams. I'm not sure if the Flyers have a ton of a home ice advantage, but I don't, like I said, the model does not think they should be an underdog here. So it is enough of a swing here. Minus 103. I can bet minus 104. I'm just going to make it a half unit play because we don't know if Owen Tippett is going to play for the Flyers. He missed Sunday's game against the Ottawa Senators. He was skating on Sunday, though, so that is a good sign. Probably won't be out for too long. But if you've watched the Flyers this season, you know that he is a pretty important part of that lineup. So I'd like to have him in the lineup. Just going to risk half unit to win 0.52 units here on the Philadelphia Flyers. Jake, any other takeaways from the weekend outside of Montreal looking pretty bad in back to back games.
Yeah, I kind of left the Canadians in the rear view and focused a little bit on football. Unfortunately, Jake's takes went 2-2 on the weekend. The Bills couldn't pull it off last night against KC. I feel bad for Bills fans. Another kick goes wide right, and then those are some haunting couple of words for the Bills. But I really thought this was the year they got over the Mahomes hump. You know, Mahomes first time that he's had to go on the road during the playoffs, obviously outside of the Super Bowl. But KC keeps pulling it off. You know, they don't have the offensive weapons that they used to, but they keep pulling it off. KC Baltimore is going to be a really interesting match. And then, you know, for fans in Ontario, we still got the Lions facing off against the 49ers in the NFC Championship. So we may not have the Bills, but at least there's a team sort of close to home worth cheering for still in the game.
Right on, right on. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a Lions fan, to be honest now. It's hard not to root for this team. It's like Dan Campbell is his that initial presser was, really silly, but in hindsight, like it looks good. So, and I just think it just seems like a pretty tight knit group, easy group to cheer for. I'm not a football purist by any means, so that I don't know if that's a terrible thing to say or not, based on what the what the real football folks think. But yeah, just as a casual observer, they're an easy team to get behind, and I'm definitely cheering for the Lions the rest of the way. Would like to see them get it done.
Yeah, I think they've become a lot of people's second favorite team, and they're going to pick up a lot of fans here now in the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm on the bandwagon. My buddy Jay in Detroit, um he had a wicked opportunity there for their first playoff game against the Rams, was it? They won 24-23. Yeah, so he got to go. His friend had an extra ticket in the box, so he actually got to go watch that one from the box. First playoff win in his lifetime. So I'm rooting for Jay's team because yeah, I mean, sports, man. You got like, people support that team. Like it's the same thing with the Bills too. And I wouldn't root against the Bills in these situations because, so many people support their team for so long. It'd be nice to see them have some success.
Sure. Yeah, the
Unless you're the
Bills.
Toronto Maple Leafs, then
Yeah,
screw you and
Screw the Leafs,
yeah.
and let's get some Bills wins one of these days.
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills should also distance themselves from the Toronto Maple Leafs too. I know there's a little bit of overlap there, but when Morgan Riley and Mitch Marner show up in their Bills jerseys, they should just get turned away at the gates. Like, boys, we really don't want your support. I'm sorry. In unrelated note, my wife and I got into True Detective season 4 over the weekend. I didn't watch seasons 2 or 3. I did watch season 1 with Vince Vaughn and Matthew McConaughey, which I thought was really good. But yeah, I think I might have watched season 2, which just was very not memorable at all. I did not watch season 3, but Jodie Foster, Antarctica, and what looks like a ripoff of John Carpenter's The Thing from 1984 is all right up my alley. So yeah, I'm tuning in, and it's a pretty good show so far. I'm happy to have a new show that comes out every Sunday. So yeah, that's my TV recommendation for the week. I also watched a little bit of Ted, which is pretty funny, surprisingly funny. I mean, it was going to be funny, but it's like actually good funny. It's not just cheap laughs. So, yeah, that's good. And I guess sort of hockey related, but went to the Oil Kings game on Sunday yesterday with my family, just my wife and my boy, and it was the Oil Rumble. So they partnered with Love Pro Wrestling, which is like an independent wrestling promotion here in Edmonton. That they do shows, I believe, on the final Friday of every month at the Rec Room here on the South Side, and I guess it's pretty fun. I've seen pictures and stuff from the events at the Rec Room, and it looks the production value looks pretty good. Lights and sounds and a packed house and lots of fans. So like to check it out, but got a little taste of it yesterday. They had the ring set up basically right next to the Zamboni entrance. at Rogers Place, and yeah, it was funny. It was a decent crowd, and they had about I think four or five, at least four wrestling matches. But yeah, it was a good time. My boy liked the wrestling more than he liked the hockey. The Oil Kings got kind of smoked there. I'm not sure what the final score was. We left before the game ended to beat traffic because we really just went for the wrestling. But but yeah, it was Fraser Minton, Leafs prospect. He definitely stood out as a man among boys on the ice on Sunday. But yeah, it was fun. You ever gone to indie wrestling, Jake?
No, no, never been a big wrestling fan. Have been to some OHL games, some AHL games, but can't say I've ever checked out any independent wrestling.
I actually did some. Well, I did a lot of stuff, but I did like commentary and stuff for an independent wrestling promotion like a decade ago here in Edmonton. Um, that was fun.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah,
I remember as a kid, the kids around me just being obsessed with it, and it's just not really penetrating my young kid brain. But I know it's
what could have been, Jake, for those of you who don't know, I didn't know until, just I guess a month ago when it came up. Jake is what, 6'5"?
6'5". Yeah, people called me Jake the Snake when I was like younger. Jake the Snake Roberts was a big deal back then. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
six five.
there
What could
was
have been?
there was
Could have been
pathways
a
to it for me, but it just didn't click.
when people say like who is, I don't know anybody that, do you know, like I don't know people that are I got a few tall family members, but really like who do you know that's 6'5", right? Like not many people.
Well, you might be surprised to hear this, and I don't want to dox him live on the air, but our coworker Mihailo is also 6'5". So
Yeah, and I didn't know he played pretty high level professional basketball in Serbia. Um I believe he shared the court with Jokic, but maybe sat on the bench while Jokic was on the court. But so maybe he didn't share the court with Jokic, but he was in the same game with with Jokic at one point. But yeah, that's great. That's statistically unlikely, I guess, that we would have two very tall individuals in our very small team. But yeah, anyway, so back to the hockey here. Just initial prices. I mean, we know Jake Allen. It looks like he's going to start for the Montreal Canadiens on Tuesday in a rematch with the Ottawa Senators. The Canadians, they are even money at NorthStar Bets. The model thinks they should be um, where at here around plus 110, but that is with a bit of a blend for the goaltender. Now that we know that Allen is going to start, I would tick that a little bit more towards Ottawa, so Montreal would become a little bit bigger of an underdog there. But yeah, minus 120 on the Senators, not going to be enough to flip me over to the other side. We've got the Vegas Golden Knights and the New York Islanders. The Islanders playoff chances up to 19% after that win over the Dallas Stars and Patrick Waugh's debut. Really not surprised to see Waugh get another chance. Kind of surprised to see that it was the Islanders just because they seem like such a, I mean, Wah does. I mean, maybe Lou figured out that's exactly what they need or something like that. But it just they seem so different, right? The way the Islanders organization is run, the way Lou Lamoriello is, and Patrick Waugh just seems like a weird match. But
I
yeah,
for,
I mean,
I forget the entire list, but Lou has a long history of hiring former Montreal Canadiens coaches. I think he's hired Pat Burns, Jacques Lemaire, Patrick Waugh, and then maybe one or two others. So he's had a long history of dipping into that former Habs alum pool.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so the Isles are, I don't think, in a great spot here. I think people are going to probably overestimate their chances of making the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm just curious what other outlets are saying here. So I'm going to go over to moneypuck.com and just look at what they're saying for the Islanders playoff chances. 22.9%. So a little bit higher, but um, I saw somebody on Twitter yesterday talking about, what was it? Talking about hammering the Islanders playoff chances at or playoff odds at plus 220, I think was the number that I saw. So that's a long way away from where I would think is a good bet. So I don't recommend doing that. I don't think you'll find anyone out there that's going to say that the Islanders have you know, NorthStar Bets does not have make miss playoff odds. I thought about reaching out to them actually and seeing if we can't get those up on the website offered to us so we can talk about them a little bit more. Um, but yeah, um, I'm not high on the Islanders. I don't think I think, look, I'm gonna pull it up here. Mike Kelly, you might know him from the NHL network. He's got some pretty cool data that he presents to us peasants that don't have access to it. Um, and he tweeted out, where are we at? So this was, right after the Wah hire. Um, Isles' current per game ranks against shot attempts against 32nd, inner slot shots 32nd, rush chances 32nd, rebound chances 32nd, expected goals 32nd, slot passes 30th, cycle chances 29th. So I mean that's a lot to clean up for a new coach, right? Um, and there's not a lot of time left here. Where are the Islanders at in the standings today? Um, Let me see here. They're fourth in the Metro Division. They've got 51 points. The Capitals, 2 games in hand on the Islanders, and they're only 1 point behind. The Devils have 2 games in hand on the Islanders, and they're 2 points behind. The Penguins have 3 games in hand on the Islanders, and they are what 4 points behind, 3 points behind. And yeah, so I mean, things are very, very tight here. I don't like the Islanders' chances. Frankly, I think the Devils, Penguins, and no, not the Capitals, but I think the Devils and the Penguins are better than the Islanders. The Capitals are going to, continue to make things a little bit more difficult for all of those teams. So the Islanders, they're, kind of lumped in there, and I don't think their chances look that great considering what they're up against. So, Jets forward Gabriel Velarde is a game time decision tonight. So that sucks for the over. We need all the offense from Winnipeg that we can get. Might want to rethink that one, I guess. If if I was you, or wait until we see what his status is close to the game time. Maybe don't rush into betting that over 5.5 at even money. But I'm locked in, so I'm not going to worry about that now, I guess. But yeah, I mean, just the two bets for Tuesday stand out. The Flyers half unit play at plus 104 on the money line. Would like it a little bit more if Owen Tippett was 100% going to be in the lineup, but he's probably going to be a game time decision by the looks of things. And a small bet on the Dallas Stars to beat the Detroit Red Wings at minus 122 to win a half unit. But yeah, that's everything. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a quarter unit bet down on the Anaheim Ducks plus 148 at home against the Buffalo Sabres. Not a lot here to talk about. I just don't think the Buffalo Sabres are as good as the market does lately. I don't know why they continue to be priced like they are, but I'm pretty close here. I think that the Ducks should be a plus 144 underdog, so plus 148. I'm going to lock in a quarter unit play on the Anaheim Ducks at that price. And yeah, that'll be a tiny bet, just a little bit more action for yeah, DraftKings opening plus 136. So it looks like some value. Sports Interaction plus 125. So yeah, I'm gonna take this plus 148 while I still can. Just a quarter unit though. Um, yeah. Other sports books I think would probably be okay putting the Ducks up there as a bigger underdog than plus 136 or plus 125, but maybe it won't happen. So yeah, to win 0.37 units on the Anaheim Ducks at plus 148. Jake, I have not been watching the feed today. Is there anything that we should get to in the chat?
No, nothing too specific. Insight saying that the Oilers Stanley Cup chances are going to jump with the Corey Perry signing, and it's hard to argue with that.
Jump like the sports books are going to change their odds because the Oilers signed Corey Perry. I don't know about that, but like, yeah, I mean, I think Perry gives the Oilers a better chance to win and whatnot for sure. He's going to give them some more depth in the bottom six. They can't play him too high in the lineup. I saw some people say like that they should play him with Evander Kane, but yeah, I think you got to have unless you make a really solid third line somehow and throw Kane back there. But I think you've got to have Perry in the bottom six, stirring stuff up, drawing penalties, hopefully not taking a whole lot of penalties, and yeah, just being a positive contribution. I'm really like I'm not curious. I guess I really don't care, but I mean, Jesus, like the Blackhawks general manager was like crying in that press conference a few months back, right? Like
Yeah, it's a little
whatever,
weird. It's a
whatever
little weird that we still don't know what he did.
that we still don't know. Like it could, I guess it's not. Well, I shouldn't like. I guess in the eyes of Ken Holland and other general managers that probably considered bringing him on. Ultimately, the Oilers did bring him on, but I guess in their eyes that whatever he did wasn't that bad, right? I mean, but if you ask Kyle Davidson, it was enough to tear him up, and like it sounded like it was a real horrible thing that happened. So I'm only curious because of that, because like how could you have two people on such different sides of something? I guess maybe it was horrible, and Ken Holland just feels like he took the necessary steps to make sure it doesn't happen again, or whatever. But I don't know. It's a weird one for sure. But I think Oilers fans are all pretty over it. They're happy to have Perry. I think they want they've held a grudge against this player for a long time, like a lot of other cities have held a grudge against him. I mean, I'm sure Chicago had their grudges against Perry before they signed him as well, and even Dallas, right? But yeah, I mean, the Oilers going back to their battles with the Ducks in the playoffs. I think there's definitely some bad blood there, but as soon as he starts bringing some of that, bad blood, I guess, in their favor, the tides will shift pretty quick, and he'll be a fan favorite. So, yeah, um, I guess I can see how it increases their chances. I don't think he's a necessarily like a super huge mover needle. It's kind of hard to quantify what he brings to the team, but I do think that they could find a really good spot for him in there somewhere. They just, like I said, I don't think they can't play him too high in the lineup. But yeah, that pretty much does it for today. We will be back a little bit later. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but we're going to talk to Michael Lieboff from the Action Network's Line Change podcast. Big Islanders fan. We'll get his biased opinion on the Patrick Waugh hire. We'll find out what he thinks of the Islanders' playoff chances. I know he thinks my model's projection for the Islanders is trash, and he's got much more optimism. So we'll find out why, and we'll also ask him if he's got his eye on any bets for Tuesday. So we'll look out for that video a little bit later today. We're going to record that in a couple of hours with Lieboff here on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel. If you have not already, please drop a like on the video. Helps out a ton. You guys did great on Friday. It was a really performed well. Saw a ton of you liking the video, ton of views, and really happy with the performance of that video. So definitely keep it up. Appreciate all of you that take the time to watch this show every day, whether for the entire live stream or just flipping through it after the fact. One way or the other, I really appreciate it. So yeah, check out CanadaSportsBetting.ca. Check out our great sponsor, NorthStar Bets, via the link in the description below. They offer some great odds, as you can see on the next day's NHL games. We've gotten some great prices all season long. Speaking of all season long, before I get out of here, we're up 21 units so far this season betting the NHL. Double-digit ROI, just up over 10%. Most of that has been done betting money lines, and those bets have gone 98th and 86, returned 10% or 18.44 units. That's a 54% win rate, betting average odds of plus 110. So pretty good. Happy with the results here on the puck portfolio. Hope you are too. Hope you have some good luck with your bets on Monday and Tuesday. To recap, Winnipeg, Boston over 5.5. Got that locked in at minus 105 to win a half unit. Maybe want to wait and see what Gabriel Velarde's status is before you lock that one in, or maybe make it a smaller bet. But need some more offense from Winnipeg if we're going to get this one in all likelihood. So I don't like seeing Velarde on the sidelines with Connor and, of course, Mark Scheifele also out already. So maybe wait and see on that one. But you can look ahead to Tuesday. You can bet the Flyers at plus 104 at NorthStar Bets. That's a small half unit play, and another small half unit play to win a half unit on the Dallas Stars at minus 122. They're in action against the Detroit Red Wings. Both available at NorthStar Bets. But yeah, thanks for joining the show today. We will see you later today with that video featuring Michael Leboff, and see you again on Tuesday for another live show where we will once again look at Tuesday's games a little more in depth and look ahead to Wednesday's NHL slate. But until then, see you later.